You won't believe what I got into today. I decided to give myself a break from the endless training cycle and headed to the mountains for a calming retreat. Yes, it's definitely not what I usually do, but let's call it my date with myself. The tranquility was honestly overwhelming. It was like being wrapped in a cocoon of silence, undisturbed by the outside world. It felt like I had entered another dimension where I could just exist peacefully without any distractions or responsibilities, you know? It was just me, surrounded by the rustling bites of nature, and my heartbeat echoing the refrains of a silent symphony. Talk about a solo party. The clarity this quietude brought me was astounding, like a clean mirror reflecting my thoughts without any distortions. Can't help but draw inspiration from Max's AI project for that metaphor. Speaking of which, Max and his AI that can compose music, he's like the multifunctional Swiss knife of our group, isn't he? Maybe he should train his AI to write a song about Teokbokki, just putting that out into the universe. And I'm still laughing at Hyejin's shower thought about dreams being advertisements from another dimension. Who knows? Maybe there is a yacht waiting for Pierre somewhere in a parallel universe. Ah, and there's nothing to beat the look on Pierre's face when he's delivered a quirky pair of socks. Today, during my retreat, I spent some time meditating, reflecting on what's important in life. It made me appreciate the beautiful bond we have, despite the differences or the distances. We chat about our achievements, share our little triumphs like Hyejin's successful plight into Teokbokki mastery, however spicy it might be. I felt grateful for the love and support we extend to each other. Maybe it's something I took for granted amid my hectic schedule, but today it felt like gratitude is a blooming marvel in itself. Also, a beach trip sounds like an awesome idea. The sun, sand, and waves should be a nice contrast to today's mountain solitude. Our schedules might be a real struggle to align, but it's definitely worth a shot. I should probably pack my sunscreen right now out of sheer excitement. And Max? Maybe we'll finally make him take a break from his coding spree. Oh wait, did he say he is reading a book about the history of pizza? I swear if that's not classic Max. Well, anyway. Today was like stepping into a musical time machine. I visited an ancient Korean palace. And oh my, the royal music ceremonies were something else entirely. It felt as though I was transported back in time, with the melodies resonating like stories whispered through the ages, you know? I could almost see the grandeur of the past, the royal processions and the orchestras playing in unison, adding rhythm to their histories. It was a sensory spectacle, with the music entrancing the soul while the structure of the palace itself showcased a harmony of culture and architecture. You would have fallen in love with the place. Honestly, I went there to dive into the roots of Korean traditional music, hoping to draw some unique inspiration for my song. And well, it did more than just inspire me. I think it awakened a part of me that craves authenticity. Those rhythms, those tunes, they spoke of a heritage I'd love to blend with my contemporary style. Speaking of heritage, Pierre and his love for Parisian movies. Who'd have thought, right? But you know, there's something about French cinema that's so distinct. The way they weave emotions into the storylines, it's almost like a waltz, delicate yet impactful. Well, Pierre, I hope Amélie transports you to the charming lanes of Montmartre and may Moulin Rouge paint your winter nights with all shades of passionate love. Oh, and Max's sushi dinner? Seriously, he takes the cake, or rather, the sushi roll for surprising us? His little culinary adventures are always a treat, albeit virtually. One day, I reckon we'll make him host a sushi party where we can all binge on sushi as we binge watch our favorite shows. Speaking of which, yes, I noticed the buzz around Squid Game. Can you believe I haven't had the time to watch even a single episode? But the shocker is everyone's fascination with it. Just shows how anything can become a cultural phenomenon nowadays, doesn't it? I'm delighted Hyejin and the others seemed excited about my traditional music exploration. It's an interesting risk, merging traditional sounds with K-pop vibes, but it could just be the fresh perspective our group needs, don't you think? After all, what's life without a bit of a challenge, eh? Before I forget, did you strain your brains over Max's thought about animals talking? Maybe it's about perception, right? Like, we view their sounds as noise, but maybe it's music to them. And for somebody who's building an AI for music composition, it might not be a bad idea for Max to consider some animal sounds as an inspiration for his next project. Anyway, before any more crazy ideas come my way. So you remember the dance routine I was working on? I decided to record it today, and I've been replaying it, analyzing how I body articulated each emotion. It's fascinating, je te jure, to watch myself transform emotions into these intricate movements. It's like painting invisible strokes on the canvas of air, only using my body. And to see whether the painting turned out as intended, it's gratifying and instructive all at once. You know, our dear Max was in a dilemma today, on whether to go for Nutella or jam on his toast. And guess what I suggested? I told him to make his own berry jam. It's funny how my love for cooking has found its way into our group chats. And let me assure you, homemade jams add a gourmet twist to any breakfast. You should try it too. Remember Pierre mentioned that dance competition show on TV yesterday? It actually prompted me to share a bit about my experimental dance routine with everyone. And you know, I think it's wonderful how our conversations are so fluid, sliding from food to dances, to the weather, and then to interesting questions. Max asked why we hear sounds after seeing the action. It's interspersed with the charm of our shared friendship, the spice of different opinions, and the sweetness of support. Alors, just as in Seoul, it seems winter is creeping slowly into our topics of conversation. Max said it feels like winter is here. I can already picture all of us huddled around a glowing heater, nursing mugs of hot chocolate like the one Heejin was making today. Oh, and do you remember that time when she added a dash of cinnamon to her hot cocoa? Pure bliss. Coming back to dances, the recording of my routine, it was a flurry of emotions, I guess. In certain movements, I could see the rhythm of joy mirrored perfectly in my steps. In others, there was a soft melody of longing. And perhaps there were moments dipped in the ink of sadness, too. It was a ballet of emotions, each making its mark on the stage. And you know the best part? This dance is mine. The steps, the expressions, the emotions, they're all intimate parts of me. One small detail, though, I noticed my leaps need a bit more work. They seem to cut my sentences short, if you know what I mean. Or maybe it was nerves. Either way, something to work on. But you know what's truly amazing in all this? All of us. Me dancing, Max thinking about coding even when deciding breakfast, Pierre tuning into dance shows, even Hyejin agreeing with Max's observation about light and sound. We're all embracing our eccentricities. And what's life without a hint of quirk, right? On that note, I think the guys have rubbed off on me too much with their shower thoughts. I have one for you. Don't you think dances are breadcrumbs of stories we leave behind? No words, just movements, etching tales in the winds. Not like those leftovers after a heartwarming dinner, but like stars on a clear night, ready to be connected into stories of their own. En parlant de soir, I feel a sense of satisfaction teasing the night today. The thought of sharing this day, both the strides and stumbles, makes it feel lighter, warmer, like savoring a cup of soothing chamomile tea. And isn't that what friendship is about? Fractions of solitude shared, decorated with laughter, painted with thoughts, and served with care.